Emma needs the lake house more than you do, my mother said over Sunday dinner. 3 days later, I locked her out of a luxury lodge she didn't know existed. Let me explain how I pulled that off. My name is Alexandra. I'm 34 years old, and for my entire life, I have been the background character in my sister Emma's movie. Emma is the golden child. She's beautiful, dramatic, and completely incapable of taking care of herself. She's had 2 marriages, 3 failed businesses that my parents funded, and a habit of treating people like stepping stones. I'm the opposite. I work hard. I stay quiet. I pay my own bills. Growing up, we had a lake house. It was my favorite place in the world. I spent my childhood summers on that dock, reading books, watching the water. It was the one thing in my family that felt like it was actually mine. 3 years ago, my parents mentioned they were going to sell it. I panicked. I offered to buy it from them. They were so distracted planning Emma's second wedding that they barely looked at the paperwork. They just signed it. I became the legal owner. I took over the mortgage. Every single month for 3 years, the money came out of my account. My parents never noticed. They just assumed the house was still family property sitting there, waiting for whenever Emma needed a backdrop for her perfect life. Which brings us back to Sunday dinner. Emma needs a fresh start after her divorce, my mother continued, slicing her roast beef like she was delivering breaking news. We've already given her the keys. I set my fork down. The clink echoed. You did what? Now, honey, my father said, in that voice he uses when he wants me to shut up. You're always working anyway. When was the last time you even visited the property? I pulled out my phone. Actually, I visited it last weekend, and the weekend before that, and every weekend, for the past 6 months. My mother scoffed. What were you doing there? I turned my phone around and showed them the screen. It was a property deed, with my name on it, bold letters, legally binding. I bought this house from you 3 years ago. You signed the paperwork. I have the mortgage payments to prove it. The color drained from my father's face. My mother's hand froze in midair. But that's impossible, my father stammered. We wouldn't have. You did, I said. You didn't read it because you were too busy planning Emma's wedding to a man she later cheated on with her tennis instructor. Right on cue, the front door flew open. Emma walked in carrying shopping bags from a boutique that doesn't sell anything under $200. So much for her devastating divorce, Alex. I didn't know you were here. Did Mom tell you the good news? I'm moving into the lake house next week. I've already hired movers. The interior needs a complete overhaul though. That rustic look is so outdated. I stood up from the table. Emma, the renovations I just completed would disagree. She looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language. What renovations? The ones I've been doing on my house. The property I legally own. I spent 6 months and $40,000 turning it into something you couldn't afford to rent. I pulled up photos on my phone. Reclaimed wood floors. Custom copper kitchen fixtures. A stone fireplace restored by local artisans. A boathouse converted into a waterfront suite. Emma's jaw dropped. My mother found her voice first. Alexandra, please. Your sister needs this. She's going through a rough time. She's going through a rough time in a luxury condo with her tennis instructor, I said. She doesn't need my house. She needs to grow up. My father tried to play mediator. Princess, maybe we could compromise. Let Emma stay there temporarily. No, I said. For once in your lives, you don't get to give away something that belongs to me to fix Emma's problems. Not this time. I walked out. Mid-video pattern interrupt. Now here's where the story actually gets good, because what my family didn't know was that my renovations weren't just about making a beautiful home. They were about building a business. For 3 years, I had been planning something in secret. I had been working 60-hour weeks at my tech job, saving every penny, pouring it all into that lake house. I wasn't just renovating a property. I was creating a luxury bed and breakfast. Every room was designed to accommodate guests. The grounds were landscaped for outdoor events. I had applied for state certification, pulled every permit, and set up a full booking system. The morning after that dinner, I drove to the lake house. My phone was exploding with messages. 47 missed calls. Over 100 texts. Emma was threatening. My mother was crying. My father was trying to negotiate. I ignored all of it. I walked into my perfectly renovated kitchen, opened my laptop, and pulled up the email I'd been waiting for. The State Department of Tourism had just officially certified my property as a licensed luxury lodging establishment. Silver Lake Lodge was born. I was sitting there smiling at the screen when I heard tires on gravel. I looked out the window. Emma's red sports car. My parents' SUV right behind it. They had driven 45 minutes to ambush me at my own property. Emma burst through the front door first. She stopped dead. Her eyes went wide as she took in the transformation. The elegant modern furnishings. The professional signage above the fireplace reading Silver Lake Lodge. What is this? She whispered. My parents filed in behind her. their faces shifting from determination to absolute shock. This, I said calmly, is my business. Grand opening next month. Every room is already booked solid for the summer season. My mother grabbed the edge of the counter like she needed support. A lodge? But Emma's furniture is staying wherever it currently is. This is a commercial property now, legally zoned, fully permitted, and completely off limits to you. Emma's face turned bright red. You planned this. You knew I needed a place to stay and you let me believe I didn't let you believe anything. You assumed, like you always do. You assumed I would just hand over something I built because mom and dad told you to. That's not how the real world works, Emma. My father stepped forward with his negotiation face. Princess, surely there's room for compromise. Emma could help run it. Make it a family business. Like she helped run the boutique you bought her? Or the yoga studio? Or the wellness center? I counted them off on my fingers. How many thousands of dollars did you pour into those failures? No thank you. This is mine. I built it. I run it. Emma actually stomped her foot like a toddler. What am I supposed to do now? The same thing other adults do. Find an apartment. Pay your own bills. Figure it out. My mother started crying. Alexandra, please. We're family. Yes, I said. Family respects boundaries. Family asks permission. Family doesn't try to steal property and call it love. Maybe it's time you all learn that lesson. I walked to the door and held it open. Next time you want to visit, you'll need a reservation. We're booked solid for 2 months. They left. 3 months later. Silver Lake Lodge was thriving. 5-star reviews. Feature articles in local tourism magazines. Fully booked through the fall. My family tried everything. Emma sent suspiciously nice messages about wanting to learn the business. My mother posted old childhood photos on social media with passive-aggressive captions. Relatives called to pressure me into making peace. I ignored all of it. Then one quiet morning, my father showed up alone. He stood by his car awkwardly until I walked out to meet him. He looked older, tired. The place looks incredible, princess. He said softly, you've done something really special here. I waited for the catch. He sighed. I've been doing a lot of thinking about how we've handled things. How we've always handled things. He looked out over the lake. We didn't just try to give away your house. We've been giving away pieces of you your whole life. Every time Emma wanted something, we expected you to sacrifice. We took advantage of your strength because it was easier than dealing with her chaos. I felt my throat tighten, but I stayed quiet. We never asked what you wanted, he continued. We never even thought about it. I'm sorry, Alexandra. Really sorry. He turned to face me. I'd like to make a reservation. Just me for a weekend. I want to experience what you built. As a guest, not as your father. I studied his face. There was genuine regret there. And something else. Respect. We're booked solid for 2 months. I said. His face fell slightly. But I might have a cancellation coming up. I'll check the books. His smile was small but real. He came for that weekend. He raved about the experience. He actually listened when I talked about my vision for the property. He even helped with some maintenance projects. No strings attached. My mother took longer. But eventually she showed up with a box of old photos. Pictures of me as a child at the lake house. Always in the background while Emma posed in the foreground. I never saw it before. She whispered. How we always pushed you aside. It wasn't a perfect ending. Family rarely is. But standing on my dock that evening, watching the sunset paint the lake gold, I knew I had done something important. I stopped being the supporting character in someone else's story. I built my own, on my terms, with my name on the deed, and nobody could take that away from me. If you've ever been the person everyone assumes will just give in, drop a comment below and type mine. I read every single one. Subscribe to the channel for more stories about people who finally stood their ground. I'll see you in the next one.